Everybody. Welcome to another interview. Today, I'm so happy that you guys were able to accept this interview. I know you guys are going to perform on Saturday, but you guys gave us this short period of time because we really appreciate your song and we would like to know a bit more about you. Tennessee Tears, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.
We want to meet all the Brazilian people, so here
Yeah.
we are.
Oh my God, that's good. That's good. So, first of all, I would like to ask you guys about the name Tennessee Tears because it's interesting, right? It's intriguing because you guys are from Sweden, you make country music, and in the name of the band, it's the name of a place in USA. So,
Mm.
how did you guys come up with the name?
Well, actually, we were going to Nashville to record an album about 8 years ago,
Yeah.
and we didn't have a band name yet. So when we got to Nashville and we just started to talk about how it was like blood, sweat, and tears to get there to do the whole album thing, and I think the Tennessee that that word is really nice. And Jonas just came up with, "What about Tennessee Tears?" And our friend Billy Burnett, he was just like, "Yeah, I love that name. That should be the name of the duo." So
Yeah,
that's pretty much how it
we
happened.
pretty much started everything over there in
Yeah,
Tennessee. So, as you said, it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And blood and sweat, I don't know. Tears sounds a lot better.
blood. I don't know where that comes from.
Tennessee Blood.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been such a nice duo. So.
What I also find interesting is that you guys met in a studio jam, right? Like it was late at night. And how was this process? Because something that I kept wondering, because you guys are a couple. So what came first, the couple or the band?
The band.
The band did.
Yes.
We actually started. I was writing songs with a Swedish producer named Peter and Billy Burnett from the States. And then through a mutual friend of ours, he just introduced us to each other. We went to an after party. I picked up the guitar, as a lot of guys do at the after parties, and we started singing together. And I remember it was a Kings of Leon song.
Yeah,
I
use
think
somebody.
"Use Somebody," and we just sang it in harmonies straight away without talking about it. And then we both looked at each other, and
Like our vocals match pretty good.
yeah,
And,
and I think we both felt that we had to do something more than this. And we went to the studio. We had a dinner. We just went down there and started singing at a song we had finished like a couple of weeks earlier.
Yeah.
And we just redid all the vocals with Tilda on it as well as a duet, and it sounded amazing. And that was just the start of it. And then a couple of months later,
yeah,
we were a couple as well. I don't know.
it just happened. Very cliche.
But this is yeah, it sounds a bit like I Star Was Born, you know, kind of like that. But something that I also find interesting is that Jonas, were you thinking about a duo? Were you planning, okay, I need a partner to make music together and make something, like common Linux ish,
No,
or
I have to
it
say,
just happened?
not really. It just happened when we sang together. It was like a match made in heaven. Like, we have to sing together, so we just got to do this.
Yeah, you were going to release a lot of those songs on your own.
Yeah,
That was the plan from the beginning. And then they were talking about a duet, and they asked me if I wanted to join, and I couldn't say no. So
luckily
yeah,
you didn't say no.
luckily I didn't say no.
But I would like to also know a bit about you guys as individuals. Like, what's your musical background, Tilda? Do you have musicians in your family? When I was reading your biography, I know that you have studied with some past Melodifestivalen participants. But like, what's your background as a musician?
Well, I don't really have a background as musician. Well, in school I did, like singing in on yeah, just in school, and otherwise nothing really, just for fun. And but both my grandpas were musicians. So I guess the interest has always been there, and my family loves music, so it's always been a big thing in my family. But yeah, no, not as a professional before, just as a hobby.
Okay, but Jonas, you had a band before, right? You had
Yeah,
already some experience.
I've had several bands. I was mainly playing rock music before.
Okay.
Then I started working as a guitar player more professionally, playing with Swedish artists like Loreen and Danny, all those guys
Oh,
who's with us
yes.
once. I've been playing behind those guys for several years now. But for the last 6, 7, 8 years, we just been doing this. So, and I don't even play rock music anymore. It's just country music now.
Country rock,
Country rock,
yeah,
okay, country rock.
we do that as well.
We have some people here making comments. We have Raphael saying hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Rafael.
We have Aero Blue Channel. Hello, guys. So happy to see Tennessee Tears here.
So happy to be here.
Yeah.
So this is actually quite interesting because I didn't know you were working behind the scenes with these famous names like Loreen, who is competing in Melodifestivalen this year, Danny, who has been several times in Melodifestivalen too. But um, how do you feel to be now competing against the people that you were working as a supporting artist? How do you feel that? Is this actually your first time in this stage of Melodifestivalen, or have you cooperated with these people before?
Well, this is actually my first time here as an artist myself. And I have to say, honestly, that even though it's a competition, it doesn't feel like a competition
Mm.
because everybody's really, it's so many nice persons around everywhere from the people working with the TV production to all the artists, the musicians. Everyone is great. So it doesn't really feel like a competition. Everybody's supporting each other. And I think the artists who know me from before as a backing musician, they think it's just fun that I'm here doing it on my own. So I don't think anybody's having any second thoughts about that,
Or
hopefully,
hard.
or hard feelings or anything. It's just fun to be here.
And you have proved yourself as an artist too. You have released quite some very nice singles, and you have also got some hits on Spotify with a couple of songs. So you guys are doing quite well. One can say that, right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's starting to happen now,
Yeah,
actually. So that feels good. So let's see how far it goes.
we're confident in what we're doing. We
Yeah.
like our music, so
Yeah.
hopefully other people can like it too.
Yeah, we've just been doing our thing for the last 8 years, and it's very nice that people starting to pick it up now and start liking it and start recognize us and listen to us. So
That's nice. So the thing is that, like, when was the point that you guys decided, okay, we have to go to Nashville and work and create songs? Like, when did you guys decide? Because first of all, you guys were in Sweden, you were like working together, cooperating, but then okay, we have to go to Nashville. Did Billy Burnett invited you guys to go there? How did it happen?
well, actually, we got we went to Nashville like 3 months after we started playing together, because we already had so many songs, and so we went there to record an album in like 2015, I think.
Yeah.
And after that, we've been there as much as we can just to get inspiration. And as you said, Billy Burnett is a very good friend of ours. And when you get to when you go to Nashville, you get so much inspiration just by being in the city and just by speaking American with people and listen to other country music artists and stuff like that. But
Yeah, and Billy is actually more like an, I don't know, a friend or an uncle or something
yeah.
to us nowadays. Because yeah, of course he invited us over, but we had to get the money for it ourselves. We had to do everything ourselves and book the studios. But he's always there and helping us. So if we need any help with if connection to songwriters other than him, or studios, or record labels through the years and everything. He's been there from day one, and he's supporting us, and he always will support us. I think. Great guy, love that guy.
Well, this is interesting because when you were mentioning till that like you get inspired when you guys are on Nashville, because I'm not sure if you guys know some other country artists from Europe. They usually go to
Yeah.
Nashville to record music. The Common Linnets, they were second in Eurovision 2014. They went to Nashville to compose music. They created that song that got them the second place in Nashville. So, what is so magical about Nashville that attracts the European country musicians to go there?
Well, I have to say, first of all, it's when you arrive at the airport in Nashville, it's rocking chairs everywhere, and it's country music on the stereo, like on all the speakers. So as soon as you set your foot in Nashville, it's okay. Now I'm in the music city, in the country music city. So and everything gets affected by it. Everything from cafes to bars, and every store in the city plays country music. So you get inspired everywhere you go.
But to be honest, country music is now very much like people in Sweden and Europe listen to country music so much more now. You don't really have to go to Nashville that often to get inspiration. I think now we work even better here in Sweden because we have we've already picked up our sound from Nashville, and we just love working with the Swedish musicians as well because they have so much melodies that you don't find in Nashville.
Yeah, that's right.
But the Nashville musicians are very good in lyrics. It just like comes like this. But so I think Europe is really on the way to be as big in country music as
Yeah, I think
almost
so too.
Nashville, but maybe not like Nashville, of course, like the city itself. But you don't have to go that far to get inspiration anymore. That's nice.
And that's a good point, because I think the mix between European melodies and pop songwriting,
Yeah.
and then when you mix that with the country music, that's a really interesting thing that happens. And I think that hopefully we get that sometimes
Yes.
in a couple of our songs, and the Common Linnets has it
Yeah.
as well.
But I think it was very, very important for us to be in Nashville to get our sound that we
Yeah.
have today.
Absolutely.
So
Hmm. No, this is interesting because I was also going to ask you guys what are the challenges of country musicians in Europe, especially in Sweden, which is like this pop music powerhouse,
Yeah.
and Schlager is everywhere, and Sweden is known for bands like Roxette, ABBA.
Yeah.
So you guys are you're making music that is totally different from what we usually get from Sweden. So this is actually the question, like what are the challenges to be a country musician in Europe, is more specifically in Sweden?
Well, the challenges were definitely a lot bigger a few years ago,
yes.
because
Mhm.
now radio in Sweden has really opened up for bands like us and country acts like us, and it's on the radio charts now, and it's on commercial radio playing country music, and that never happened 5 years ago.
And now they understand how many people in Sweden that actually wants to hear
Yeah.
country music. But also, we still make a bit commercial country music, to be honest. So it can be a lot of pop-loving fans as well that likes our music. And I think Avicii did a good thing there because he obviously did "Wake Me Up" and "Hey Brother," which has a bit of a country vibe
Yeah.
to it, and that opened up for a lot of young people in Sweden, I think, to open their eyes to maybe like the mix with the dance pop music with the country vibe and all the instruments and stuff like that. So yeah, but we can definitely see it growing here. the people here loves country music now, and everyone is talking about how they love instruments like banjo and pedal steel and stuff like that. So that's very nice. Hopefully, it continues to be that way. And actually, I think it's kind of nice to be in country genre because there's not as much competition. You know,
Uh-huh.
like a pop star here in Sweden, it's it's millions of them. I would say no, but like there are hundreds of pop stars here, but there are not many country musicians. So it's actually quite fun
Yeah.
to be one of the only ones.
We got our own little country lane on the
Yeah.
outside. We just running in that lane, and
Yeah.
that works pretty good.
We have some comments here for you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is actually for me. Sergio's knowledge is just too much. Impressed.
We're impressed too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Um, we have Pedro Rodriguez. He's actually from Portugal because this YouTube channel is like for Portuguese speakers. So we have people from Brazil and from Portugal listen to us. Hello from Portugal. How do you feel about performing again in the semifinal? It's more stressful than the heat. Will you make changes to the performance? I was actually going to ask about that, like because when they go to the second, like the semifinal phase, some artists they decide to use different dresses or change the camera angles or do something different. Not sure if you guys plan to do something different.
Well, first of all, I have to say that it's less stressful to be in the semifinals than the heat, because now we already passed through the heat thing,
Yeah.
and we're so happy about that, so we can relax more now.
The
Because
semifinal was our goal.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
we've already proven to ourselves that
Yeah.
we can get some votes and people like the music we do.
Mm.
So that's about that. But then about the performance, we might have a few small surprises
Yeah.
that we can't really talk about.
But definitely a bit like we've been discussing about the camera angles and stuff like that. Yes. But other than that, we have a few surprises maybe.
But we were so very happy and pleased with our first performance. So we
Yeah.
don't want to change too much because I think people like that performance
Yeah.
as well, and we don't want to mess with the winning concept. Sort
But
of.
we're gonna have a horse on stage.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. But that would be fun though, wouldn't it?
I was not expecting that.
It's going to be a small
Just
horse.
a small horse.
Well, let me tell you something. Some Eurovision fans would suggest you to do that. If you tell them that, they're going to say, "Oh, do that! Bring two horses." They are going because I remember there was this song that was called like "Run with the Lions," and
Yeah.
there was this person that was saying, "Oh, they should bring lions to this stage."
Real lions.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see about that.
yeah. No.
Yeah, but something that I would like to ask you guys is this is something that has been bothering me about Melodifestivalen, and it might be a bit uncomfortable. You may not even. I was not planning to ask that, but
But go
when
ahead.
people were talking about performances, let's see if you guys are able to answer me. Um, were your like the band were they performing the vocals live?
Well, first of all, the instruments are not allowed to be live.
Yes,
But
yes,
the
I know that.
vocals,
Yeah.
some of them are singing, right?
Ooh,
The band.
The band. Oh, not
The back-
all the artists or
No, the band behind us on stage.
oh, the band behind us on stage.
Are they singing?
Yeah.
I think a few of them
Yeah,
are singing, and
two
we
of
also
them are
got
singing.
and we also got a couple. One
Yeah.
guy and one girl standing behind
Behind
the
the
stage.
scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
backstage.
Eric is a star.
That's
Yeah.
right. Eric and Britta.
I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he performed a very good song, a very good. It was 10 years ago actually. Hello, goodbye.
Goodbye. That's right.
Yes.
I love that song. Like,
He's actually my best friend since 20 years.
really
Yeah. So I
Okay,
will tell
tell-
him that you like him.
well. Not. Don't tell him just that. Tell him that I use that song because I used to. I teach adults. I teach in a university. I'm a
Yeah.
professor now, but when I was teaching English for like teenagers, I use like some Eurovision songs, and the teenagers were like, "Oh, this is not very good." But "Hello Goodbye," they were crazy about it.
Oh
Like I
Wow,
had,
yeah, I will tell him
yeah,
that. I will absolutely tell him that.
it
so
was
maybe
like,
Eric can do a tour in Brazil, and we can
yeah,
come
he
along.
can do that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys can come along because the lyrics of that song are
Yeah,
perfect. It's a
that's a
beautiful
beautiful
song.
song. I love that song as
Yes.
well.
Oh, what a nice memory.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to also to ask you guys because you guys there have been some country musicians before in Melodifestivalen. We have the amazing Cookies and Beans,
Yeah.
legendary Cookies and Beans. We have Mimi Banner, and of course the legendary, the amazing Jill Johnson, who has been working with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so how has it been? Because you guys are working with her, like her record label, you have signed with her record label, and I've heard that you guys are the first artist that they have signed.
First
How do
and
you feel about that?
only.
What?
First and only. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We started working with her like, was it 1.5 year ago,
Yeah.
maybe?
Something about it.
Yeah, and we just got together through. Well, you can actually say that it was your tour.
I didn't.
Last
Yeah, I had a
manager.
tour manager like 5 or 7 years, no more, 10 years ago, and she's also been a tour manager for Jill. So she's been sending demos to Jill throughout the last 5 years, and have a listen at the Tennessee Tears. You gotta listen to those guys. And then one
She never
day,
had a time.
no,
So.
she never had the time. And then one day she felt like start a record label together with her manager Maria, and they decided to go for it.
And we met up and we just wrote. We actually wrote "Head Over Heels,"
Yes.
one of our singles. Yeah, and that was pretty much the first thing we did together. So after that, we went on tour with her for 2 months, and then she signed us. So
Yeah.
we were super excited, and we also have the same love for country music and for Nashville, and so it was just like a really good fit for
Yeah.
both of us. I think for all of us.
She's just a great person. It's so
Yes.
good to have her as a, I don't know, mentor
mentor,
or
yeah.
label boss or whatever.
Yeah.
She's just perfect to have for us because she's been doing it all for 30 years.
Yes.
So she's got so much experience, and we just love working with her.
Yeah, I think JoJo said something interesting because she used to sing pop and
Yeah.
then she became a country musician. And she has been on the wish list of many Eurovision fans to come back to Melodifestivalen for ages. Like people have been actually the last time that she was in Melodifestivalen, you had like some interesting moments because Jill Johnson, the last time she was in Melodifestivalen was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And 10 years ago, your best friend,
Yeah.
Eric, was taking part. But,
It's all adding up
Yeah.
here.
And now it's our turn. It's perfect.
so the thing is, like, considering that Jill has been on Melodifestivalen, Cooks and Bean has been on Melodifestivalen, we have some other country artists. Do you guys think that one day Sweden is really going to send a country artist to Eurovision? Because some are coming closer. Okay, in like Heroes is not, it has some country elements, but it's not a country song. You know. So do you think that there's going to be a moment when Sweden is going, okay, we have sent soap pop, we have sent pop, we have sent rock, but now let's send a country duo. Do you think
Um,
that there'll be a time?
I'm absolutely sure that will happen. Absolutely sure about that. I don't know.
Absolutely
I don't know
sure.
when though.
No.
I don't know if this is the year. Let's hope so. But I'm positive about it because country music is growing so fast in this country.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. So I think banjos, pedal steel guitars, it's gonna blow up in a few years, hopefully.
I mean, Mumford and Sons is one of the biggest bands for people in Sweden now, and they have pretty much the same kind of genre, if you could call it that, with the banjos and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely growing, and I think people enjoy like what you call real music more and more when you have a band on stage playing instruments, and I think people is gonna appreciate that even more now. Comes and goes in waves.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, you said some word that's very interesting for me. Not a word, but two words. Real music. Sometimes the thing many people have been criticizing Eurovision and Melodifestivalen and the Eurovision bubble overall because of the lack of live instruments.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, it's a big event. There's a lot of elements, so it's difficult to play real live music with real instruments. However, now we also have recorded backing vocals.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
how do you guys feel about it? Because some artists in the past have been even accused of lip syncing. So
Yeah.
how do you guys feel about that? Like, do you guys feel that okay, we understand there are some issues here, and then we have to focus on the show because it's a show for TV. We have to understand that it's not a concert; it's a show for TV. So we understand that the instruments might be playback, but what do you guys think about the vocals? Do you think that it helps, or as if it's a live performance, it should be 100% live vocals?
Well, I have to say regarding the vocals, if I was to choose the whole thing, I would say that everybody's who's singing, all the voices has to be on stage and to be sung live.
Yeah.
That would be, I mean, because as you say, it's almost impossible with 7 or 10 acts on stage with live music and drums and keyboards. That's pretty much impossible in a TV
But
production
I
like
would
this.
love if it would be.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be great. But
I think it sounds so much better when everything is live.
but I love the vocals when it's live because I like the little flaws. It doesn't have to be perfect.
That's
It has
the
to
thing.
be some soul in it, and
Yeah.
if you sing it in the heat, then it sounds one way, and then you sing it in the semifinals, it sounds slightly different. Maybe better, maybe a bit worse, but it's still live. I really appreciate that. So I would love if everything were live. That would be great.
Yeah, I interviewed an artist a couple of days ago, and she's Tyrell. Her name is Tyrell. She's from Norway, and she said that she mentioned that like these little flaws
Yeah.
are actually something that people or usually appreciate on the performances because you don't need to be perfect because they know it's a live performance, but they need to understand there's some sort of soul there.
Yeah. I grew up listening to or watching VHS tapes, live shows from rock bands, and every show sounds a bit different because one day the singer doesn't have a good day, so he does another melody to kind of get away with that. The next day he's on top of everything and just screams everything. I love that when it sounds different every time.
But also, I can understand like when in a TV show that everything has to be because you only have like 3 minutes. Because when we're out playing regular gigs, we play for like 2 hours, and then if you sing a song and you don't you just go like I didn't sing that very good, and then you just go oh fuck that, let's sing the next one better, and then you can just build it up and like you just feel it like, but now you have 3 minutes and then you have to be try to get perfect. So I guess I understand why they have to have some of it, but it would be nice if everything were live.
But it is what it is, and we try to sing as much
Mhm.
that we can live at least, because that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I think everything in our song is live, isn't it?
Yeah,
And the
pretty much
singing, yeah.
everything.
And you guys sang very well. You
Thank
did
you
a
very
great job.
Thank you.
Great job. We have a comment here. Pedro is saying good luck for you guys on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So glad that you guys think that should be 100% live because nowadays we're definitely losing music quality with these rules. Yeah, I, mean, I wouldn't say quality, but I think that I don't
The
know. I
nerve.
think I beg your pardon.
The nerve. That's what we're
Yes,
losing, I think.
Yes.
yes. That I don't know the spirit of something.
Mm. But I mean, obviously, some of the songs doesn't have like instruments in it. Some of the songs are like what do you say, like a computer
Yeah, program
yeah,
music. Yeah.
programmed. So I mean, they can't have live music on stage. So I guess this is the best thing for everyone. But maybe it should be like two different competitions. Like in one heat, it's only live with instruments and stuff, and the next one is just computer. I don't know. That would be
But we
nice.
do have some Eurovision selections that are using live instruments. Like Denmark have been using live instruments for a couple of years. Festival di Sanremo from Italy, it's not like a real Eurovision national selection, but they have like a live band. So, well, maybe it's something that is around. It hasn't disappeared, right?
No.
And everything comes and goes. So who knows? In a few
Yes.
years, maybe we'll have a few real live acts, and I don't
Yes.
know. It could be a mix as well.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so another thing I would like to ask you guys is I love Now I Know. I absolutely love it. I think it's a great song. And
Thank
this is
you.
something that we do here on Sha. We don't interview artists that we do not want them to do well. We only interview the artists that we like.
Yeah.
Because it's a fan site, so you know.
Thank you.
Thank
So I love the song. I think it's very well composed. I think the lyrics are beautiful. However, as you guys have you told me your story, it doesn't fit the lyrics. So how was Now I Know created? Like what inspired you guys to compose this song?
Well, that's always hard, I think, because you sometimes you write from your own life or experiences, but sometimes you just want to write something that people can relate to in different ways, and everyone can relate in their own way.
Yeah, and in this case, it was actually Thomas Stengard, one of the guys that we wrote this with. He was just like when Jonas was picking up the guitar and he Jonas played the melodies on the guitar, and he was just like, "Ah, I was 9 years old," and then we just, "Oh, okay." So that's the first lyric, and then we just kept on going with that.
Yeah,
And my best friend when I was a kid was a guy. Obviously, we never grew up to fall in love, but I mean, I could think of that when we wrote the lyrics. Like, what would we do? Yeah, we were playing hide and seek and fought with sticks and stones, and so everything just fell in place. Pretty
and
much.
we just want to write a song like about that you grew up together. You don't know about all the feelings you have as a
Yes.
kid, as a child, but then when you grow up, everything just falls in place, and you realize what you actually had all the time. So it's a fictive lyric, but I think that people can relate in their own way to it.
And you
At least
try
I
to
can.
really, feel as if it were real.
Yeah.
When you write it, so that's a good thing.
But I think that's a tricky thing about lyrics, and as an artist, if you can deliver the song as if it is real, even though it doesn't have to be real to yourself. But that's
You make it real.
you make it real. Yeah.
Yeah, this is something that like it when you guys were performing, it felt very sincere, like it felt very honest. It felt like very from the heart. And there were some movements that you guys did. I know there's always some choreography because it's Melodifestivalen after all, but it felt like it kind of felt like when I said the same thing to Cornelia Jacobs when I interviewed her. It felt like a live concert.
Yeah.
There were some moments that you were connecting with the audience.
That's great to hear that, because that's what we talked about when we
We
sat
met.
down the first time, and we said, how are we going to do this?
With the choreographer
Yeah.
and the TV team.
And we said, and they totally agreed with us, that we play so much live, so it has to look like every other gig that we do, every other show
Yeah.
that we do.
We just wanted to be 100% ourselves.
Yeah.
With their help to make it even better with the camera angles and everything, of course.
Because I mean, we're singing to each other every night, and we're looking at each other when we're singing, so we want to keep that. We look at each other at certain points, so we kept that, but we kind of decided, okay, you guys look at each other when you sing that, so keep doing that. Keep looking at each other when you sing those words. So that's pretty much how it happened.
Yeah. But it's nice that you say it,
Yeah, absolutely.
that you notice.
Yeah, there are some moments when you guys you turn to the stage and then you do this. Then they're like, oh, it felt like a live concert. Like, oh my god, I would like to be there. You
Oh,
know?
that's so
Yeah,
good to hear. That's so good to hear.
and that wasn't even planned. That was just like spontaneous, like woo, because
Yeah,
you get so much adrenaline. Like, come on. So that's
But
good.
it worked well. It worked well.
yeah.
You guys were talking about an album that you went to Nashville to record an album and you were playing to it. And this is something that I have discussed it with many artists. The fact that nowadays the artists they prefer to release singles because it's very difficult to get people's attention. And this is something that we have. Everybody has to adapt to technology and how people see, hear, and appreciate stuff. Like me as an educator, people that cook, people that want to sell shoes, and the artists also have to adapt because we are working with a very specific generation. So, do you guys plan to release an album? Because this is something that frustrates me with Melodifestivalen. Because back in the day, I started watching Melodifestivalen in 2007, like every single artist after the final they would release an album, and I was excited about that. I wanted to listen to more music from that specific artist. So do you guys plan to release an album after Melody Festivalen or in a couple of years, or you still haven't prepared it?
Well, we're growing up the same way. We want an album, of course we do, and I want a big one that you can sit and watch. But as you say, you have to adapt those days, and I think that I can say that we're not going to release an album this year.
No, I think it's more mainly like singles
Yeah,
and
probably
hopefully
singles
an
for,
EP.
yeah,
I
maybe
would
an
say.
EP. But I think that in 2 years' time, of course, we're gonna release an album. Absolutely, because we got a lot of songs lying around that we want to include on an album. They're not necessarily singles, but they can still be on an album. So we're definitely gonna do that. But I can't say that it's gonna happen in 6 months' time. I don't think it will actually, because we have to maybe release one or two more singles after this, and then the album comes probably.
But I hope that we're going to release an EP, which is like 5 songs, and maybe the end of this year,
Yeah,
hopefully.
hopefully.
Oh, I would be excited to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm very old fashioned. Like I download music, I buy on iTunes, and like I don't have those big albums. That's not my vinyl is too much for me. But I still appreciate to download the songs and like give some money to the artist instead of just streaming. You
Oh,
That's
that's
know,
nice.
that's great. That's great.
I bought your song on iTunes.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you.
thank you.
I did.
We appreciate it.
So we have some comments here. We have Marcelo. He's saying something which I think it's very interesting because your song is very nostalgic. Like it
Wow.
feels like I can't relate. Like I haven't. This is not my story for sure, but like there's like some spiritual thing in the melody that really catches our attention in the song,
I'm
right?
so happy to
Glad
hear
to
that.
hear that. Yeah,
I'm a nostalgic person as well, so
yeah.
I totally
I
love
kind
that
of
you're saying that.
agree with you as well because that's I think when we did this song, like after 1 hour, we all four of us that were writing the song together, we all felt like, wow, we have something really good here, and we love the vibe, we love the energy in it. So I think, yeah, I love it as well. I think it's kind of nostalgic to me as well,
I'm a
but I don't know how or why.
100% nostalgic person, so I love that you're saying that.
Yeah,
So we also have Fabio here from Portugal. He also loves your song. Portuguese
yeah.
people like your song because they are very nostalgic people.
Seems like we should go to Portugal as well. I could play
Yes.
some golf while I'm down there. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Um, Let me see what else. Um, I would like to also ask you guys, basically to wrap things up. Um, what do you guys know about Brazil? Do you have like some musical influence from our country or from Portugal? Do you guys have some connection or do you know anything? Have you been here in Brazil or in Portugal?
Well, we have a lot of friends who's been to Brazil.
Yes.
I had some friends a few years back who lived in, is it called Natal?
Natal.
City of Natal. Yeah, they live there.
My brother is married to a girl from Natal. Yeah.
Natal
Yeah.
is super, super hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard about it. We never been there. We have to go
Oh yeah,
sometime.
we have to go
But
there.
then, of course, with the Brazilian music, with all
Yes.
the happy samba music, with the
Yes.
rhythms and everything, of
Yes,
course, we
love
know
it.
about that. It's happy carnival music. I
Yeah.
love that.
We have some people here saying that Portuguese people are known for being very nostalgic.
Oh,
Ah,
I think
maybe you should live there.
I think I'm moving to Portugal
Yeah.
or Brazil or Brazil.
Or Brazil.
We are very nostalgic too.
Yeah.
Guys, another thing that I would like to ask you guys, what do you expect from, like, of course, you guys want to qualify. Of course. You guys want to make to the final. But how are you feeling before performing again on Saturday? Are you guys already in the city? There is going to be, are you guys already working on the rehearsals? How is everything? How is the preparation process for
We-
Saturday?
We're actually in Stockholm right now at a hotel room, and we're leaving with
Early
a,
in the morning.
early in the morning by a plane up to northern Sweden,
Yes.
and we start rehearsing tomorrow afternoon. And as far as expectations go, I don't think we have that much expectations anymore because we just want to perform our song. We just want to have a good time. We're going to bring our band, meet all the other artists, and have the best week ever.
Yes. And
And,
I mean, the competition is very hard, and there are a lot of big names that we're going to meet in the semifinals, and well, there's a lot of good artists in that. So we're just really happy that we made it to the semifinals. And I think this week we're just gonna focus on having a really good time with our band. And I think that's also how we usually prepare ourselves. We just like hang around with our band and our crew and trying to have a positive energy. And we sing a lot and play a lot. So we're just gonna do that and hope for the best.
you're welcome backstage to our dressing room any day. We can play
Yeah.
some guitar and banjo. Just
The
scream.
banjo is always there, and the country music is playing really loud.
I guess I'm going to book a flight to Sweden right now.
Yes.
You're welcome. You're
You
welcome
should.
anytime.
So, guys, let me just tell you some, just to something that I would like to mention is that you guys won the televote, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys won the televote, and I think this is something that no matter what happened on Saturday, I think this is something that you guys should keep in mind that people paid to vote for you.
We're actually still shocked about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're super happy. We couldn't be happier about it. So thank you.
Can I be honest? I wasn't shocked. I knew you guys would win the televote.
Thank you so much. You too kind. You
Thanks.
too kind.
I knew you guys. The televote, I knew you guys would win. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for giving us your time. It was very nice meeting you guys. You are two beautiful spirits, and I really hope you guys do well, not just in Melodifestivalen because it's something that's going to pass. It's just a competition. Like I would like to you guys to really continue releasing music and entertaining people, making gigs, and I'm pretty sure that's what you guys want to do too.
Yeah, we're gonna
Thank
try
you
to
very
do our
much.
thing. And thank you so much. You're a beautiful spirit as well, and it was so nice that you would like to have us.
Yeah, thank you
on
for
your
the
show.
very kind words you're saying. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
And thank you to all the listeners that have been commenting as well.
Yeah, we had around 10 people watching, which is quite
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you. Bye bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye bye.